Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 300. Oh wow, thank you. All right, fully cheesy, I know, but hey, I do believe this is a significant milestone. I'm proud of it, as we've been on the air every week since July 2017. 50 shows a year for 6 years, yep. 300 episodes. It adds up. I'll tell you about our huge giveaway in a moment to celebrate the occasion. But first, I wanted to sincerely thank you, the listener, for tuning in to Tech It Out, whether it's on your local radio station or as a podcast. And also a massive thank you to my sponsors, my syndication partner, Radio America, and all the local talk radio stations that take this weekly show. Ah, yes, the giveaway. To commemorate the 300th episode of Tech It Out this weekend, my title sponsor, ASUS, has generously donated a laptop worth $939 to start. And it's a real looker. It's the ASUS Zenbook 14 OLED, model number UM3402. This is a 14-inch OLED touchscreen laptop that's stunning with up to 2.8K resolution for incredible detail. And because it's an OLED, amazing contrast as well. Plus, the laptop is super light. It's just 3 pounds, and it has a powerful processor, smooth graphics performance, and super fast Wi-Fi 6E speeds. To be eligible to win, you need to be in the US, continental US, at least 18 years of age, and simply post the hashtag TechItOut on your favorite social media platform and say what you like about the program or podcast. A lucky listener will be chosen in a week and notified of their win, and I'll ship the laptop out to you. Good luck. Again, just post the hashtag TechItOut, one word, on social media, and I'll look for it. Speaking of social media, if you want to follow me on any of your favorite platforms, I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. All right, we have a great Tech It Out plan for you today. We'll start off learning about a smart kitchen knob for stoves. Never heard of this before, but sounds like a really ingenious idea, instead of having to buy an all-new smart appliance. Then we talk with Waymo, formerly the Google Autonomous Car Project or Google Self-Driving Car Project. We'll chat about getting driven around in places like San Francisco and Phoenix with no human driver, and it's available now. It sounds like science fiction, but you can do this today. Speaking of vehicles, GM, General Motors, will join us to talk about EVs, electric vehicle, first responder training across the country, and finally, I'll share some gadget and game gift ideas for dads and grads. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS. All right, let's kick things off. Tech is overhauling every room in the home, let's face it, and the kitchen is no exception. We're now going to learn about the world's first smart stove knob that makes cooking safer and easier. And so we're joined by Akshita Iyer, CEO and founder of a company called Ome. Hi, Akshita. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me, Mark. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Oh, well, thank you. I wanted to invite you on to the program to talk to us about Ome, which is spelled O-M-E, so it's like home without the H. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I started Ome simply because I had a personal experience with your most used cooking appliance, but it's actually the least connected across every brand, your stove. My mom left it on one too many times and started a kitchen fire. Oh, and at the time, what I didn't realize was we weren't the only people that were struggling with this. I mean, the number one cause of house fires is actually people doing exactly what my mom did, is leaving the stove on, and it's totally preventable. And, I saw an opportunity here within the appliance space to approach the kitchen a bit differently. So typically you see new appliances with new technologies coming out. When this happened, I realized that, I'm not going to buy an appliance for, another 10, 15 years. In fact, the appliance that we had was perfectly fine. And typically people don't buy appliances unless there's breaks or they are building a new house. Mm-hmm. And so I saw that there was this, very long lifespan, which makes connecting the kitchen difficult for manufacturers, right? It's not an easy challenge. And I looked at my parents' home and I saw all of these other retrofit devices, right? Your smart doorbells, door locks, thermostats, that were bringing, affordable and intuitive connectivity to the home. And I thought, well, if your appliance lasts so long, what if you did that there? And so we have built the only retrofit system on the market today that can turn your standard stove into a smart appliance without the need for a new one and without the need to, remodel your kitchen. So our smart knob replaces your existing stove knob, completely DIY to install. It takes under 5 minutes. And the important piece here, Mark, is that you use your stove like you do every day. So you push, you turn, minimal customer education. We're not changing how you use your stove, but we have built-in Wi-Fi connectivity and also built-in motor. So we can automatically and proactively control each individual burner based on whatever your needs are in your kitchen.
Wow, that's so great. And, because it is true, like even despite the benefits that smart appliances bring to the table that I mentioned earlier, they do cost more than others. And even if they didn't, if there's no need to replace your existing appliances, then it's great that you've got something that can augment your cooktop or your stove here, which is great. So it's called the Smart Stove Knob. And you said it has motors and it's also Wi-Fi connected, which implies that it's you can use an app to get information. So talk to us about what it can do exactly.
Yeah. And so, we do work on both gas and electric stoves, and we are connected to your smartphone, and we also are connected to your voice assistant. So you can remotely check on your stove from anywhere. So we answer that, century-old question of, did I leave the stove on, right? That moment of panic that you have, you don't have to drive all the way home. You can check from our app, but even more, you actually have real-time control. So if you do realize you left it on, you can turn it off remotely. We also, though, have an automatic shut-off feature, which is designed to catch whether you do leave it on by accident, and we will automatically turn it off. So that's a key differentiator with our technology is we actually take action for you. You can set those cooking timers, and after that timer expires, you don't have to worry about being in the kitchen. You can actually keep doing what you're doing, and we'll turn it off and we'll send you that alert. And so, a lot of it is building around the ways that consumers are cooking today so that we can bring that enhanced level of safety and security, but then also, build on the automation. And so, a lot of our customers are creating their own recipes, right? 10 minutes on high, 5 minutes on low. And so I think that real-time feedback we're getting from a current install base of tens of millions of households that are not going to replace their appliance for quite some time is all data and insight we can use to be able to drive additional features and innovation that actually truly add value in the kitchen.
If I'm not mistaken, just based on something you just said, can you actually have it automatically change the heat level over time? And that's done through the app? Okay, so it's not
Correct.
just about on or off, which you can set a timer. So in 10 minutes, I want the stove off in case I forget to turn it off. Maybe someone listening right now has family members with dementia, like Alzheimer's. So that would be ideal for someone like that, for example. Or just, hey, it's happened to me. Like you've said, it happens to all of us. So like your mom. So it's not just a matter of turning it on or off or you setting a timer, or if it's idle for 30 minutes, it'll turn it off. But you can even say, I want it from high heat down to low heat in 12 minutes, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Wow. So we do not, for safety reasons, allow you to turn your burner on just because we don't want there to be.
Yeah, sure.
But once you turn it on, you're absolutely correct. You can change the temperature setting however many times or leave it for however long you need to based on what you're cooking.
Very cool. We're chatting with Akshita Iyer. She is the CEO and founder of Ome. That's home without the H. They are the folks behind the first smart stove knob. How'd you come up with the name, by the way? Just quick side question.
Yeah, I was, thinking through, what are words that are meaningful for me? And my sister-in-law actually had a dream that our company name was Om, and it actually comes from the Sanskrit syllable Om, which is oftentimes or typically used in like meditation.
I was going to ask you about that, like Om. Yeah,
exactly. And what that syllable is meant to create is a sense of calmness and serenity. And that's exactly what we're trying to do in the kitchen where, our lives are getting busier, we're multitasking. And so can we, make life a bit simpler in the central part of your home so that you don't, you do feel that sense of peace in your kitchen. And then I also realized shortly thereafter that Ome is also part of home. So from a marketing perspective, it worked out.
Love it. All right. Just before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you a bit more about the smart speaker support, but you said it was easy to install, 5 minutes or so. Can you walk us through that? And it is a universal sort of shape at the back, because I went to Amazon to replace the 4 knobs that one of them broke on mine, and I didn't want to have one that was a different style or shape. So I went and bought 4 brand new ones. They all had, just so they would all match.
Right now, we offer just one SKU that is compatible compatible with about 65% of gas and electric ranges out there. We have done a ton of research to understand the differences between and within brands. And you can imagine, if you've ever taken the knob off of your stove, that shaft underneath does come in various shapes and sizes. And so with the current generation of the Ome Smart Knob, we can accommodate for most of your standard brands. There's a compatibility quiz on our website that you can take. And once you know you are compatible and you get it, it's pretty simple to install. So there's a physical installation where you take the knob off. We have an adapter that goes onto the shaft so that our knob can fit on universally. You put our knob back on, and then through our app, we guide you through a calibration process so that the app knows and the knob knows where your low, medium, and highs are. As you can also imagine, those are all different across stoves too.
And then finally, how much does it cost? And is there like a bundle if you do want to buy 2 or 4? If like I have 4 elements for our gas stove, for example, don't tell the government I have a gas stove, but, and where do you buy them?
Yeah, so you can find them on our website at www.omekitchen.com. You can get it in a bundle. So 4 knobs is $549 with the option to add additional if you have more than 4 burners. We always have discounts going on, so you can reach out to us at support@omekitchen.com, and we're happy to share some discount codes with you.
All right, so that's omekitchen.com, O-M-E kitchen.com. Our guest has been Akshita Iyer. Thanks so much for your time, Akshita. Great to chat with you. It sounds like a genius product. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mark.
And cool about the discount codes. Hey, we'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, the 300th episode of the podcast and radio show. Thank you to ASUS, the title sponsor on this program, for donating such a generous giveaway, the ASUS Zenbook 14 OLED laptop valued at just shy of $1,000. You are eligible to win this if you're 18 years of age or older, live in the continental US, and you share the hashtag TechItOut on your favorite social media platform this weekend or early next week. It could be on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. If you want to follow me on any of those social platforms so I can see your Tech It Out post, it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. A name will be randomly drawn. Among everyone who uses that hashtag Tech It Out this week, a name will be randomly drawn, and they will win the ASUS Zenbook 14 laptop. So once again, good luck celebrating 300 episodes of Tech It Out. All right, let's continue on with the show. Self-driving cars, often referred to as autonomous vehicles, it's not just coming down the road, pun intended, but is virtually here. And leading the charge is Waymo, formerly the Google self-driving car project. Joining me to discuss the applications for this, including what it means for seniors, we've got on the line Reed Morse. He's a staff software engineer at Waymo. Hi, Reed. Thanks for your time today.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm really keen to chat with you and learn more about this topic, and I'm sure my listeners are as well. Before we talk about applications for seniors for this technology, autonomous vehicles, tell us a bit about Waymo.
Yeah, Waymo is an autonomous driving technology company. Our mission is to make it safe and easy for people and things to get where they're going. Waymo started as the Google self-driving car project in 2009. And since then, we've been focusing on building, deploying, commercializing what we like to call the world's most experienced driver, which is a technology that allows people to get around, get where they're going, and save thousands of lives. The Waymo One driver powers our Waymo One service, which is the world's first fully autonomous ride-hailing service. It also powers Waymo Via, which is our trucking and local delivery service. To date, we've done tens of millions of miles on public roads, fully autonomous, across 13 different U.S. states, and we've done tens of billions of miles in simulation with that driver.
All right. So for those who are curious to how it works, and without getting too much into the geek speak, it's essentially a vehicle that's been outfitted with sensors and cameras, right? Is it LiDAR? Is it radar?
Yeah, great question. Sort of all of the above. It's called the Waymo driver. And it is a bunch of hardware and software that works together to get around the world safely. It is cameras, LiDAR, and radar, and then a very powerful AI computer in the trunk.
Right.
And they are very powerful, more powerful as a whole than the sum of the parts, we like to say. And it allows the Waymo driver to see around in 360 degrees in full 3D, up to 3 football fields away, 300 yards.
Wow.
Even in, pitch black nighttime.
That's awesome. And I remember reading, Reed, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was something like 94 or 95% of all car accidents are caused by human error. So maybe it's time to let technology help us out, and it'll only get better over time. Is that a stat that you've heard as well, or something similar?
Yeah, I've heard it's about around 90-something% of driving accidents are caused by human error. One nice thing about the Waymo driver is it's very attentive. So it's never looking at the phone. It's never feeling drowsy. It never forgets to look over his shoulder when changing lanes. It's really seen in 360, taking the whole scene in all the time.
And what would you say separates Waymo from other autonomous vehicle technologies or platforms?
What separates Waymo from other autonomous vehicle platforms and some of these driver assist platforms is first that our driver can be applied to a bunch of different vehicle platforms, from cars to trucks, for example. We're building that Waymo driver. It unlocks the potential of the autonomous driving across different markets, ride hailing and delivery, but also different environments, long stretches of highways, for example, but also the densest of cities, and also different vehicle types. So right now we have a Jaguar car that we drive our users around in Waymo One service, but we also have vans and we have big rig trucks, Class 8 trucks as well. At Waymo, we're building a fully autonomous driver that requires no human intervention at all. So you can't really build this technology incrementally. The Society for Automotive Engineers, they lay out 5 levels of autonomous driving technology, but we think it's actually much simpler. It's just a simple binary. You either need to have a human with a driver's license behind the wheel, or you don't. And in Waymo, you don't.
So can you clarify, Reed, that if I'm in a state that allows for the testing of autonomous vehicles, like California, where you're based, I believe, I could literally hail a ride, like an Uber or a Lyft kind of thing, in San Francisco, and a driverless vehicle will come and get me?
Yes, exactly. So we have a 24/7 service right now called Waymo One, and that's available in San Francisco and the Metro Phoenix area. In Metro Phoenix, anybody can come to Phoenix, go to the App Store or the Play Store, install the Waymo One app today, and get a fully autonomous ride anywhere. We have 180 square mile territory in the East Valley of Phoenix, extends from downtown Phoenix to Scottsdale, parts of Mesa and Tempe and Chandler. It's really, really quite a large service area there in the Valley of the Sun. And it includes the airport too. So if you could fly into Phoenix today, you could get the app on your iPhone and call a car, pick you up at the airport, and get anywhere sort of in that Phoenix area. We also have the service in San Francisco. We have thousands of public riders right now in San Francisco, and we have another few tens of thousands on our wait list in San Francisco. But we are driving 24/7 across the entire city of San Francisco with public riders.
And this is different from like Halo Car in Vegas, whereby you can have a car drive to you, but it's not autonomously driven. There's somebody remotely piloting that vehicle and then leaves it with you. And then someone in an office somewhere or in a warehouse or something, they're driving the vehicle remotely, like an RC car, back to somebody else. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right. That's not what we're talking about. So Waymo, we are the only company in the world providing a fully autonomous ride-hailing service. So there's no humans in the car. There are no remote operators, and you don't need to sign a non-disclosure or anything. Anyone can download the app and take a ride.
Very cool. Again, this sounds like it's in the future, but it is available now in Phoenix and in San Francisco. Wild stuff. More with Waymo when we return on Tech It Out, the 300th episode of this weekly program. Thank you so much again to all the listeners for your continued support. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Reed Morse, a staff software engineer at Waymo, that's Waymo, formerly the Google self-driving car project. And we're learning about its fleet of vehicles available already as ride-hailing vehicles in a few states, as well as for deliveries. But I think we're just scratching the surface of where this technology is going to go. If I use the Waymo One app and I say where I want to be picked up and dropped off, it's up to you to actually drag that pin to the exact location. Is that fair? And only if it's safe to let you off will they do so.
Yep. You're right that we do have a lot of sort of novel human-computer interaction problems. For example, where is the car going to pick you up? How can you detail that? Where is the car going to drop you off? How can you be precise? But yeah, what you said is pretty much correct. We have a map and you can drop a pin on the map and tell the car where you want to get picked up and where you want to get dropped off. The car is fully autonomous. So what that means is we sort of send it out in the world and we tell it, here's where Mark wants to get picked up, but it will decide in the moment when it gets there, where's the safest place to pull over. So it might not hit your pin exactly, depending on where you dropped it, but but we'll try and get to the safest spot nearby.
And are these all EVs? And if so, how do they charge up?
Yeah, they are all EVs right now. Our whole fleet is Jaguar I-Pace, fully electric vehicle. And we have a bunch of charging spots across San Francisco and across Phoenix, the metro area in Phoenix, where we can go and charge the cars up in between trips.
So an employee does that?
We do have some humans around in the depot to plug the car in, but also, clean it out if there's a mess.
And we've seen videos on social media of police trying to pull over an AV, an autonomous vehicle. What happens in the case of a Waymo vehicle that is pulled over for whatever reason?
Yeah, the cars, we have the sensing system, the vision system on the cars, and we actually have something called ears, which allows the car to listen for sirens. So the car is very good at detecting emergency vehicles when they're driving, with their sirens or lights on. And we will definitely pull over as soon as we see that vehicle approaching and make way for them. We can also interpret hand signals from police officers or other traffic control folks, or temporary signs that are put out by construction, for example. So yeah, we do have, the car's got 29 cameras on it. It's looking all around, and it's, surveying the territory and making sure we're driving in a safe manner, including emergency vehicles and traffic control.
Wow. It seems like science fiction. Super cool. And with that in mind, let's talk about seniors. I write a lot for AARP, a demographic I think could benefit from this technology. Could you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, autonomous cars have the potential to help seniors reap many of the benefits of driving without some of the challenges they might encounter today. For example, the Waymo car has a state-of-the-art suite of sensors and compute on board, and that is designed to be constantly vigilant, follow the road rules, recognize what's around it, even anticipate what other drivers might be doing. And it has one singular focus, which is safety, getting people where they need to go in a safe way. Another way that Waymo can help seniors, I think, is in independence. So autonomous vehicles provide seniors with the option to get around safely, but also to retain their independence. So you can travel to various destinations like medical appointments or social gatherings or grocery stores without relying on another person or without relying on public transport. I think that independence is probably something that seniors really appreciate about Waymo.
Tell us about this 81-year-old TikToker and the video that he posted about Waymo.
Yeah, I'd love to. I believe the writer you're referring to is Patriotic Kenny. Kenny's an 81-year-old veteran who was visiting Arizona with some friends and decided to download the Waymo One app and give it a try. What's really cool about the Waymo service is that anyone can download the app. You just hop on the App Store or the Google Play Store and install the Waymo app, and you can hail a car right there with no driver. And that's exactly what Kenny did. I'm an engineer. I work on this technology. I've been working here for a while. And for me, seeing Kenny and his friends, Amanda and Jerry, taking a ride in that car, man, that's just so exciting. We've been working so hard on this technology. It's really, really satisfying to see these types of videos. I really recommend checking it out if you haven't seen it. The excitement, the curiosity, the astonishment that someone experiences being driven around fully autonomously is contagious. It's really fun.
When do you predict that autonomous vehicles will be everywhere?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mark. I've heard this statement that the future is here. It's just not evenly distributed. And I think that is true, especially in regards to autonomous technology. So, for example, Waymo today is available in Arizona. We have a service territory in Phoenix. Anyone can download our app and hail the car, go anywhere in that 180 square mile service area around Phoenix and Scottsdale. In San Francisco, we're providing thousands of San Franciscans fully autonomous rides today, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week across the whole city. In October, we announced that Los Angeles will be Waymo's next ride-hailing city, so joining Phoenix and San Francisco as we expand to more locations. So, we are in the throes of commercialization here. We are trying to bring this technology as widely as we can, but we're just making sure to expand, in sort of a safe and measured manner.
Awesome. It would be remiss for me not to ask, as we wrap up, there's a fear, I think, among some of my listeners that automation, be it robots, AI, or autonomous vehicles, is going to replace human jobs. What's your take on that?
Yeah, we recognize that major technological transition brings, benefits and change for people. Autonomous driving technology is still in the infancy, and the change will be gradual over a number of years. We're really optimistic about how the technology will spawn new businesses and new jobs, including businesses and jobs that the world has not yet imagined. An early example I can give you, we have a team of autonomous specialists and autonomous driving operations contributors that help us, in the depots and help us with the technology. Also, because actual mobility can have such a large impact on economics, we think that having better transportation will open up new economic opportunities for millions of people through access to employment and other services.
I remember the head of IBM's Watson department once said that for every job that automation replaces, the industry will create 2 to 3 or even 4 net new jobs for every one that it takes away. Just different jobs, right? Like coding and engineering and testing and all that. So where can we learn more about Waymo? Do you recommend just downloading the app, or is there a website you'd recommend to learn more?
Yeah, so if you're in Phoenix or San Francisco, you can download the app. Just search on the App Store or the Play Store for Waymo, Waymo. You can also come check us out at waymo.com. You can sign up for our email list or our waiting list for our Los Angeles service. And then also, if you want to learn about how Waymo is partnering with the community, check out letstalkautonomousdriving.com.
Letstalkautonomousdriving.com. All right. Read more. Fascinating topic. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you, Mark. Really appreciate you having me on.
We have a lot more Tech It Out to get to this hour. I'll remind you about the giveaway, the contest to celebrate the 300th episode of Tech It Out. But we're going to chat with GM about EV, electric vehicle first responder training. I'll share some gadget gift ideas for dads and grads. But first, just a moment to thank Visa for their support and partnership on Tech It Out. You know, we cover cybersecurity a lot on this show and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not tech savvy. And one part of the solution is securely shopping online and at retail. And Visa has made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past few years. As much as $10 billion, that's billion with a B, to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of both individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Check it out. Hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. I'll remind you about our big giveaway this week and how you can be eligible to win the ASUS laptop to celebrate the 300th episode of Tech It Out. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's get to our next interview with GM. Whenever General Motors is on the show, it's usually tied to a new vehicle, maybe something teched out like an EV, an electric vehicle, or maybe it's a discussion about its autonomous driving technologies like GM Super Cruise. But this time around, we're going to pull the curtain back and learn about GM's EV first responder training. We're joined by Joe McLean, GM's Global Product Safety and Systems Engineer. Hi, Joe. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being on the program.
You bet, Mark. Glad to be here.
I'm recording this interview in the parking lot of a GM dealership. I kid you not, but I didn't want to postpone our interview, so I'm using recording gear, but it's just kind of funny and fitting where I'm sitting. I'm staring at a line of new Cadillacs and Buicks and GMCs and Chevrolets, which is pretty funny. But that aside, please tell us about GM's EV first responder training. What is it exactly?
That's a great question. So we saw a need, General Motors saw a need for high quality training, and we decided to go after and be an industry leader and deliver this in-person training with hands-on touching product and engaging with subject matter experts face-to-face, really the first and second responders across North America want and deserve. So we did this training. We started last summer in Southeast Michigan, and we've been to over 20 different locations across the continent. This week we're in Ontario, Canada, but next week we'll be wrapping things up back at our Milford Proving Ground in Southeast Michigan. But the coasts on the east and west, as well as the Great Lakes, we were in Chicago, and very excited to deliver this training, again, in person and face-to-face.
Awesome. Now, please, Joe, forgive my ignorance. How would first responder training for electric vehicles be any different than gas-based ones? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so let's parse that a little bit. And just the thing that we tried to get across is that many of the emergency response procedures and techniques that folks have already been exposed to or have experience from the field will be remarkably similar when dealing with electrified vehicles. There are some nuances and some differences with, high voltage battery systems and stored energy and, of course, thermal and fire concerns, but we address all of those in the training, and we really try to put any, unfounded concerns or, thoughts behind us and move forward with this community, this very important community, in the future of EV adoption.
Is this tied at all, do you think, to some common misconceptions about EVs?
There really is. And, we are striving to provide the very best information, again, with subject matter experts from across the industry. And we didn't just do this in-house either. We reached out and collaboratively partnered with the University of Illinois Fire Service Institute to deliver this training and help refine the delivery. A lot of it's going to look very familiar to National Fire Protection Association training that people might get online, but there are many, many misconceptions about electrified vehicles. The first that I kind of want to address, and the one is that this technology has evolved, but electrified vehicles have been around for a very long time. They've been around since the very beginning of motorized transportation. Mm-hmm. And General Motors has really been at the forefront of looking at alternative energies, looking at, alternative propulsion methods, and we strive to be the leader in electrification and electric vehicles. So we're out here demonstrating a commitment to safety on the grandest scale and trying to set concerns and let people know the facts from the folks that help design, develop, and have to meet very strict regulatory requirements around this technology.
So again, I know you said that this is about best practices for handling electric as well as hybrid vehicles safely in multiple situations. But let's say there's an accident on the side of a freeway, side of a highway, where it's a multi-car collision and a first responder gets onto the scene to help those who are there. How would them being in an EV be different than being in a gas-based vehicle?
Significantly may not be any different. That's what we're trying to get at. Many of the electric vehicle safety systems, the crash worthiness of the vehicles, the safety cages will be remarkably similar. The things that we want first responders to know and the highlights of the training include identification of high voltage components. In the industry, the automotive industry is settled on the color orange to identify high voltage components, high voltage cabling, under hood or associated with the battery.
Yeah.
To say, don't touch, don't cut, don't try to pry or pull on these orange cables. That's a concrete example of one of the things we cover, and where those batteries are located is almost universally low in the vehicle. But, those rescue documents really are a wealth of information for folks.
Yeah, thanks for that, Joe. We are chatting with Joe McLean, GM's Global Product Safety and Systems Engineer. We're chatting about this new GM EV First Responder training. Is it a course? And if so, is it handled online? Is it live in person? Tell us a bit about the program itself, please.
Yeah, you bet. So we wanted this to be as rigorous as possible, realizing that getting folks away from their jobs, whether they're full-time first responders or volunteer, it's very common in North America. We wanted to give these training sessions in a means that would facilitate max participation. So what we've done is committed to being in a certain region, across North America for 2 days' time, and we give 2 4-hour sessions a day. Attendees to the training only have to come to one session. That year of going all around North America is going to come to an end pretty soon. We can't do this, full time and have our other jobs, at General Motors or the University of Illinois. But we're going to pivot later this year. We're anticipating to have posted on the website that folks can go to right now, gmevfirstrespondertraining.com. In-person hands-on training, everything is free. Even the online training is going to be free, provided at no cost.
Again, to get more info, it's simply gmevfirstrespondertraining.com. Joe, thank you so much for carving out some time to chat. I wish you much luck and success with the rest of this tour. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Really appreciate it.
More Tech It Out coming right up after this. Stay with us.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
All right, one last reminder for today's big giveaway to celebrate the 300th episode of Tech It Out. My title sponsor, ASUS, has generously donated a laptop worth almost $1,000, and it's a real looker. It's the ASUS Zenbook 14 OLED, model number UM3402, a gorgeous touchscreen OLED laptop with a ton of power under the hood as well. To be eligible to win, you simply need to be in the continental US, at least 18 years of age, and just post the hashtag TechItOut on your favorite social media platform and say what you like about the radio show or podcast. That's it. A lucky listener will be chosen in a week and notified of their win, and I'll ship the laptop out. Good luck. Again, just post the hashtag TechItOut, one word, on social media. If you want to follow me on any of your favorite platforms, I'll spell my name in a moment. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. Thank you for 6 years of Tech It Out. Hope you've been enjoying the podcast and radio show. Please feel free to leave a review, tell a friend about it, and good luck in that contest. All right, one more segment to get to. So as I mentioned, I had a lot of fun on TV last week on the 15th, on Thursday, chatting about some great games and gadgets just in time for summer fun. So I wanted to share with you now, if you wanted to jot down a few of these ideas on your phone, on good old pen and paper, whatever you've got. Let's start off with one of the most eagerly anticipated games. It's out June 22nd, Thursday. It's Final Fantasy 16 for the PlayStation 5. It's the latest in the iconic and beloved franchise from Square Enix, a 35-year-old franchise, in fact. Gamers will love the massive, high-octane battles as the hero, Clive Rossfield, who wields a very powerful sword. You got to check out the graphics if you haven't already. He'll also gain the abilities of the creatures in this game called icons and pick up side quests. You'll unravel an epic story and much more. And don't worry if you haven't played many of the previous Final Fantasy games. It's not needed. Final Fantasy 16 is a contained story, but yeah, you'll benefit if you know some of the other characters and backstories and all that. Great stuff, especially for fantasy role-playing game fans like yours truly. Final Fantasy 16 starts at $69 for PS5. And speaking of the PlayStation 5, if you need to expand the storage for all your downloaded games, the WD Black SN850p is an NVMe SSD or solid state drive for the inside of your PlayStation 5. Super fast and now available in up to 4 terabytes. That's a ton of storage, 4,000 gigs for all your PS5 games and other content. Prices start at $150 for the SN850p if you don't need the full 4 terabytes. And then if you're an Xbox gamer, those who own an Xbox Series S or X, Western Digital also has released its officially licensed WD Black C50 expansion card for Xbox. This is truly plug-and-play storage to give gamers a ton of space, again, to hold all those downloaded games so you don't have to uninstall games that you still want to play, just to add new ones because you're running out of room. So unlike that SSD for the PlayStation 5, the C50 is a snap-in module or expansion card. So it's external storage, but really easy to just plug it into the back of the Xbox Series S or X. Great gift idea for dads and grads who own an Xbox. The WD Black C50 card costs $79 for 512 gigs of storage or up to $149 for 1 terabyte. Next up, for those who love streaming content on your TV, and I'm sure it's most of you, you can now stream to your heart's content without breaking the bank with the Roku Streaming Stick 4K Plus. It looks like a USB thumb drive, if you will, but it plugs into the HDMI port of your TV, and it offers a spectacular up to 4K picture. It's got premium sound, a long-range Wi-Fi receiver, so even if you're not close to your wireless router, you're still going to get great performance, and it has a rechargeable voice remote included. There are hundreds of channels to choose from, many of which are free, so no shortage of TV shows and movies, sports, news, and more, including some live content as well. It's only $69 for the Roku Streaming Stick 4K Plus. Also, Roku Stream Bar. It's a powerful 2-in-1 upgrade as you get 4K streaming and big sound from your TV because it is a soundbar with the Roku platform built in. And you do get that comfortable and intuitive remote included as well. A very smart device indeed. It sounds so good with whatever TV that you pair it up with. It's only $129 at Roku.com for the Roku Stream Bar. Now, for whatever you're buying this summer and all year round, frankly, I've talked a lot about slick deals on this program. It's a community of millions of real people working together to help you save. It's all about shoppers helping shoppers. In fact, there are more than 12 million shoppers who vet and vote up the best deals on everything, not just tech. So you know you're getting the best price on whatever you're buying at retail or online. You can visit slickdeals.com or download the app. Well, there you have it. Some fun gadgets and games just in time for the summer. Thank you for tuning in to the 300th episode of Tech It Out. Good luck to those who enter the giveaway, the contest for the ASUS Zenbook 14 OLED laptop. Simply use the hashtag TechItOut on social media to be eligible to win, along with the other terms and conditions I chatted about this hour. All right, have a great rest of your day, everyone. We'll catch up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.